Let's do this. Blake Cousins, this is Third Phase of Moon, and we are taking your calls in regards to this UFO phenomenon. You know what's happening. You've seen something up there. That's right. We've all seen something strange in the skies, and that's why we're broadcasting, to take your accounts of what you've seen up there in the skies. Let's get your reports in. It's closing up November here, and December is just right around the corner, and I got a feeling things are going to be lighting up in the skies. And let me tell you, if you've got something you want to share, press number 1 right now as you call in to 934-0378. That's 347-934-0378. If you're calling in from Oregon, be sure to press number 1. We got you. We want to hear your incredible encounters aboard an alien ship. Let's just do it. Let's bring them in right now. Let's go to area code 419. You made it to the show. We're live, Third Phase of Moon. How you doing tonight?
Hey, how you doing, Blake?
Doing good. Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling you from Ohio.
All right. Welcome to the show. First time caller?
It is, and I love your show, man. It's amazing. It's very good.
Thank you. Thanks for tuning in. What's on your mind tonight?
Well, I don't have alien abduction per se, if I got a few minutes to spend with you, Blake, but I can tell you a couple amazing stories from the mountains of West Virginia from when I was a kid back in the 70s. And it's the same as what's going on now, yeah.
Bring it on. Let's hear it.
Okay, all right, listen. So around 1970, I was in West Virginia, and I was with my family down there, and there was some friends that lived in between the mountains. They lived down next to a little creek, and they were really poor. So I went down the hill and across the creek, and I spent some time there, and I was above there is where my grandmother lived, and she had this big house, and it was up on a hill. So as I was coming across, it was time to go, and it got dark out. And so as I was coming across the creek, I was coming up the hill. It was 1970. I was probably 5 or 6 years old, and I looked back, and I seen an amazing angel in the creek dancing like a ballerina. It was amazing. I would never forget it. And I'm 52. So I told my family about that, and you know,
was it?
It was just an amazing.
Kind of like
it was
light.
No, it was basically when I looked back, I seen a ballerina, full, like 6 or 7 feet tall, in the water above the creek, doing a ballerina. So later in life, get this, that's not even a kicker. So about 5 years later, around 1975, I was in Youngstown, Ohio, and I was jumping ramps, because we were into, the king of motorcycles back then, Evel Knievel, and I looked up, and I was the only one, and I seen it, a small UFO watching me. And it was. And I could have hit a rock. I could have threw a rock and hit it. It watched me. So later on in life, as I was coming along through my life, around 10 years ago, I was going to Youngstown, Ohio, from where I live, where it's near Cedar Point. And to my left, I looked up in the middle of a field, Blake, in Nowhereville, in the flatlands, Ohio. There was a huge UFO, man. It lit the whole field up, and cars were parked for a mile in front of me. And so all my life, I always thought that, I've never been abducted by UFO, and I'm just a regular guy. I'm a welder from Ohio, born in West Virginia. But it seems to me all my life that been watching over me, and it's for the good. I mean, I can't even describe to you how many times I probably should have died, jumping on trains as a teenager and trying to ride them through the tunnel, One little false move, you're done. But these angels, all my life, have watched. And in my mind, some UFOs are angels, and they watch over you. And that's all I had to say. I thought I'd share that with you. I couldn't be more honest with you. Why would I lie?
Appreciate that. Absolutely.
What do you think,
you were
Blake?
saying something about...
It's amazing, isn't it? Ain't that amazing?
It is. It absolutely is. You're saying when he got home after he saw the ballerina doing a dance on the river there, that your family
on the creek,
reacted to... What did they think?
Well, when I got up... Listen, when I come across the creek and I looked back over my left shoulder, there was a ballerina, golden, lit up like a... Probably more than likely it was a ghost. But, I mean, aren't they kind of the same in a way? But when I got back up to the house, I was just a little boy on a mountain in West Virginia. And I told them what happened, and they didn't believe me. They thought that even though they could see that I was shook up and I was telling the truth, they never believed me. But even to this day, if you go down into that, where that is, in that part of West Virginia, it's just haunted, man. Not to go far from being the alien thing. What I think it was an alien, but it was an alien from this world. It was really weird. But they didn't believe me, but I told them the truth, and why would I lie? I would never lie. There's no reason to. But all my life, I've seen them, and they've always been kind of, they would be there for me. Not like they would help me. They would just, it would seem like in my lowest, deepest despair of my life that there would be, I can look up and see something like that. I still see them, not as much as I used to, but I know they're still there. I don't have to see them to know. And that's my true story.
Sure. You know what? It makes a lot of sense, especially about West Virginia. A lot of battles have been fought there, and it is a haunting place, to say the least. And absolutely, there are hauntings, and there are those paranormal activity that's being witnessed. And there are extraterrestrial beings out there as well that I believe are interdimensional, and they could be one of ours as well. Well, hey, something to think about indeed. Thanks for the call from Ohio. Okay, he's calling in from Ohio, but he had this West Virginia story that was quite interesting indeed. Now we're going to another caller. Let's see, area code 734. We're live, third phase of Moon. How are you doing tonight? Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling in from Ann Arbor, Michigan.
All right. Welcome to the show. First-time caller?
I'm first-time caller, and I just got onto your site. Another site had veered me over to you guys, and I'm enjoying it very much.
Great. Well, what's on your mind tonight? Thanks for calling in.
I have been abducted. And just to give a little background, I was abducted like when I was 12 years old. My dad would take our family up to the UP in Paradise, Michigan, and we would have huge bonfires on the beach. And we had a one-room cabin, no electricity, no running water. The outhouse was 3 trees to the left. And we would watch the stars at night. And my dad taught us how to watch the stars to see how stars do move. Certain stars do move. And we're not talking a straight line. We're talking zigzags and circles and shooting up and disappearing. And one night, we were on the beach, and we decided to spend the night on the beach. And my mom, my 2 brothers, myself, and my dad were there. And I started hearing my dad scream. And he was yelling for my mom, he was yelling for my brothers, and they wouldn't wake up. And I woke up, and when I got to my dad, we were on the beach, and we were looking up at the tree lines, and there was a UFO there. And the UFO was a glow. It was a beautiful glow. And the next thing I remember is my dad held my hand, and we were in the ship. And I was on a gurney, and my dad was on another gurney a little ways away from me. And there was grays. There was 2 grays to my right and my left of my head, 2 grays where my stomach was on the gurney, and 2 grays where my left and right foot were. And I heard my dad screaming, and I sat up, and I looked at my dad. His head was moving back and forward fast. And I remember looking at the alien that was at my left arm, and he was looking at the alien at my right leg, and somehow I knew he was reprimanding him for allowing me to wake up. And the next thing that I knew, we were back on the beach. It was like noon the next day. And if you've ever listened to the waves, like Lake Superior is loud. You get up early in the morning because of the waves. And we were all bumping into each other like we were drugged. And my dad and I and the family never talked about it because, I don't know why we didn't talk about it. But one night, we were at my mom and dad's house, and I was older, and we were playing cards. And I looked at my dad, and I said, "Do you remember when we were abducted?" And he looked at me, and he goes, "Patty, let's talk about this later." Well, it turned out that my dad was going to U of M, and they were doing a study on UFO abductees, and we are recorded in their study, my dad and myself. So that is my abduction story.
This is it's quite amazing. So you have what I like about this is that families are involved, and it's not just individual abductions. There's multiple people involved in these accounts. And once this happens, there's this connection, this bond that is forever formed. And then sometimes, for some odd reason, the people that were abducted with you just don't want to remember or want to recall this event. It's quite strange, whatever this phenomenon is. But well, I appreciate you calling in. You let us know if there's anything else that happens with you, and we'd sure like to hear it. And it sure was brave of you as well just to come forward tonight and share your incredible story right here.
I'm thinking about writing a book about it, and I did have one more abduction, but that one I'll save for the book.
What? You're not going to share it now? Are you sure?
I can share it now.
Okay.
Later on
why don't you hold on with that for 1 second? We're going to take a quick break, and we want to hear that second abduction account. Let me tell you, there's people out there that have been abducted more than once, and sometimes the second time, people are more aware of what's going on, and then their stories are even more relevant. Stand by for that, Blake Cousins. All right, we're back. Third phase of moon. We've got UFO alien experiences, what it's like to be abducted. Let's just get right back to it. Area code 734. We're back live. Let's get to that second abduction. Appreciate you hanging on here.
Okay, thank you. The second abduction was when I was 20 years old, and at that time I was married, and we wanted to have a baby. And we had been trying for over a year and a half, and we had decided to go up north again to Paradise, Michigan, and there I was abducted again. And when I realized what was going on, I was in the ship, and this is a little hard to explain, but it seemed like the floor was like a stage, like a marble stage, and there was this big circular like basin there, and an alien came out, and he looked at me, and he had veered me to look at another alien, and in that alien's arms was a baby, an alien baby. And that alien walked up to me, placed the baby into my arms, and I held the baby in my arms. Now, even though this story is shorter than the other one, the strange thing about it is I found out 2 weeks later that I was pregnant.
Now, a little pause in my reaction due to the fact that this is not the first time I've heard this before. It's very strange indeed that there are these cases of women becoming pregnant shortly after an encounter, being abducted. Everything. How's the child now? Everything all good and everything's normal here.
He's really, really good, and the only thing odd about him is his eyes are like black. That's the odd part about it. His eyes are black.
So, is any ophthalmologist say anything about his eyes being?
No.
What color are your eyes and the father's eyes?
My eyes are like root beer brown, and the father's eyes are blue.
Oh. Well, you sometimes eyes change throughout people's lives, the color after a while, but that's interesting. Not people have black eyes, but that is a kind of a.
It always stuck in my mind.
Absolutely, something to think about. Well, appreciate it. So, how old is your son now?
He's 32.
Okay. Well, this is an amazing phone call, and we're learning new things as we take these.
One thing that my spirituality, my belief system has grown wider than what it was before, because I know that there is life other than our life on Earth.
Yeah, and it would be naive for one's religion to deny that absolute fact. It is a fact. We are not alone. And if you want to believe we are, well, then you go ahead, people. You go ahead. But we at Third Phase Moon, with all the evidence coming in right here and all the callers, we know something's happening, and it's happening in real time. So let's keep it real. Let's get some more phone calls. And
I'm here.
Keep on. All right, 609. What's on your mind tonight? Where are you calling in from, sir?
Hey, how's it going,
what's
Blake?
your name? Doing good.
My name's
Joe. All right, Joe. Well, thanks for joining us.
A few times actually before.
Sure.
Yeah, man. But let me just get into the story. All right. I was at the wildlife refuge in New Jersey, the Edwin B. Forsyth Wildlife Refuge. And I was chilling with one of my buddies. It was late at night. We got in there like pretty late, right before it closed. And we happened to see something quite incredible, to say the least. What we saw in the sky, we saw this like little orb just like floating around, and then eventually it just teleported to a whole different location, and we saw it teleport. And I have a witness. I have a person that was with me. And I personally believe that they're doing a bunch of like military testing at these like wildlife refuges, like federal military testing.
You know, that would be an obvious place for one to do these secret operations. There are not many people around, and you need to get through security to get through these parks. A lot of military involvement in the areas of a lot of these parks. They utilize it to do a lot of practice. And it was crazy.
I've never seen anything like teleport like that before. It was pretty amazing. And we were both freaking out. We were like, "Oh my God, it just moved!" Like, "Oh, holy sh!" You know what I'm saying? Like, it literally was in one spot, and then it was in a whole different place. And there was something out there, like, following it, like a helicopter or something else. I don't know if it was, like, this, I guess if it was the military, you know what I'm saying, like, supervising. It was crazy, dude. It was...
Yeah, that's amazing. Helicopters regularly are involved with these UFO sightings as well. So you say it was in hot pursuit of whatever this thing is. It's teleporting from one place to another.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. It was crazy, man. And right after that, let me finish my story. After we saw that, out of nowhere, a federal police officer pulled us over and started talking about to us. And he ended up giving us like a hefty ticket for being out there. Like I had to pay some money.
Oh, okay. Now this is getting interesting. So the federal police, like we're just saying, there's a lot of government agencies within these federal parks that they really keep it locked down, and they don't like people that are around, especially when they're doing these secret military exercises. Whether it's So they gave you a big fat fine, huh? And have you paid it? I'm hoping.
Yeah. I paid it right. I paid it right away because I don't want to mess with that, man. I'm not trying to go to jail. you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. But what did they actually charge you with? What were you doing wrong?
Oh, it's so funny what they charged us with. It was the failure to pay the entrance fee. It was like a $4 donation you're supposed to pay when you pull in, but we didn't have like the slip that you're supposed to get when you pay it. So they hit us with like this, this hefty ass fine for just not paying the entrance fee.
Yeah, well, you gotta have your
that's what they do.
I guess,
they hit you with
still, they're deterring you from ever coming back. It sounds like, and you're not welcome around here, possibly.
Exactly. You hit it right on the head. Like, you hit it right on the head. It's deterrence.
Yeah. I know that feeling when you're in places that, you're doing an investigation and you get this vibe that people are watching you, and then you're being kind of, harassed in its own sense that, they don't want you around. It's trying to get down to the bottom.
Yeah, we definitely saw something that we weren't supposed to see, Blake. We definitely saw something we weren't supposed to see. And you know what I mean? The police were right on top of us right away. It was crazy. Like, I didn't even see him. You know what I mean? We're at a wildlife refuge. I didn't know there was a federal police officer sitting around the corner, like, scoping us out. That's just how it goes.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, they keep an eye on things, especially when this stuff is going down. So, again, what wildlife park reserve was this? So other people may be on the lookout for strange activity in this area?
It's in South Jersey. It's called the Edwin B. Forsyth Wildlife Refuge. You could look it up.
All right, we're going to be doing some research on that, and I'm asking everybody we're almost approaching 500,000 subscribers here coming up, approaching 500,000 subscribers, and all those people
awesome,
out there,
man.
do some investigation, and help us out. Look that up and let me know what you find, people. We got so many investigators backing us up. It's so incredibly amazing to be on the cusp of this knowledge going out, and as it's coming in live right here from you, sir. So what an amazing insight this is.
Man. Yeah, I was kind of hesitant to call in at first, but now I was just like, they need to hear this. You know what I mean? The national parks, I feel like there's something going on, like, everywhere. I really feel like it's a topic of discussion that needs to be talked about, you know what I'm saying? Like, the people going missing and stuff. It's kind of crazy. So.
It needs to be talked about, and it is it's because of you that this subject came up. So anybody out there see anything strange in wildlife reserves and national parks? I know there's a national park on this island, the Volcano National Park, and there are many sightings of UFOs in that area. Okay, everybody stand by. We've got a time for one more caller, it looks like. So let's take a quick break. We're going to be right back. This is Third Phase Moon Radio. And let me tell you, this is getting quite exciting. Hold on, everybody.
Control life. Warning. Warning. Failure. Control life. Warning.
Unidentified flying object.
Here we go. More Third Phase of Moon Radio, and we're back. And you've got to get pumped up, people around the world, and come out and tell people what you've seen in the skies. Share this with your friends. Don't be afraid. There are so many people out there that don't want to share their UFO experience, their alien abduction encounters, because they're afraid of ridicule. But if everybody comes out and starts to explain to people that this stuff is real and it's going on, and there's a suppression of evidence out there that our world governments don't want us to know the truth about this, the real truth. You know why? Because it involves a lot of stuff, not just to deal with, we are not alone, but they've got technology that they're not sharing with us, and they want to keep that for themselves. And that's the problem. The energy that these beings from other planets have brought to us, and they're not sharing it with us. Maybe a little bit, just a little. But let's bring in more callers. Let's see. We've got a few callers coming in, but there is an anonymous line. I guess we could try the unlisted number. If you're there, go ahead and speak up. Hello.
Hello. Hey, how are you, Blake?
Hey, you made it to. Doing good. Doing good. Welcome to the show. Yeah, we got a few minutes. What's on your mind tonight?
Sure. Thanks for accepting the call. First of all, there's a few things, man, that
sure.
are really bothering me. I don't know if the only way that I can describe them is as being alien abductions or experiences that I had. And I really want to find somebody that can help me, that can actually help me see what I see or get these images out of my head, or somebody who can actually draw what I'm seeing. Because when I was 9 years old, I think I got abducted and I got taken into this place. And just recently, now I'm 24, I had the same type of dream experience with the same type of beings, but this time, it was completely different. It was the things that I experienced and saw is so hard to get off my head. It's like they're there. It's like I really want to just share them with the world, and just, I hope that there's other people out there that can relate to this stuff, because hello?
Yeah,
hello?
Tell me about when you were 9 years old. You say you were abducted. What makes you?
Yeah, when I was 9 years old, I got taken into this place, man. It was so crazy. I was just trying to find my way out. As soon as I got there, it was just like I felt afraid. I felt like I was lost. I felt like I needed to get out of there. So when I saw these beings that I knew that they were aliens, they were tall. Some people look just like us, like humans, but they were taller, stronger, and they all had like blue suits, like a type of blue suit on, like all the way down. And I was surrounded by them. I was surrounded by a lot of people like that look human, but they were not human. So
Bluetooth.
When I was 9 years old. So that was pretty. That was like far as from what I can remember, it was like pretty. Like I can't really remember much about it. You know, it's like I got out of there, I went to bed, and like I wake up with my heart pumping, like like I had just like 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 being put there in my bed for some reason. Like it was weird because it was during the day too. So just recently I had the same experience and I got to see these beings, and it was like this metal. I don't know if it was a spaceship, but the way it looks, it was like just so huge, man. It was like this metal type of thing. It was like a metallic, but it was so huge, and there were lights, plants, and here I see the same.
Hello? Okay. He's gone. Let's see. What area code was he calling in from, Brett? All right. If he can call back, we want to get him on. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. He just dropped out. Let's see. Okay. We'll try. I guess we'll just go to another caller because he just dropped out. That's strange. Okay. Let's try area code 562. It's been waiting on for a while. Oh, great.
Hello?
You made it. You're on the show. You're live, Third Phase of Moon.
Hi. This is Carrie. I'm calling from Lakewood, California.
Hey, Carrie.
And how are you doing, Blake?
Doing good. Glad you made it. Yeah, we got a few minutes left.
Yeah, I had an experience. No, my husband had an experience because I've had a couple of experiences. Once I saw an alien, and once I've seen a UFO over my house. But my husband had an experience July of 2016 when we were sleeping. It was nighttime between 3 or 4 in the morning, and we were in bed sleeping. And he said that he was awoken to sound like someone was trying to break in our back door. So he tried to get up to look to see what it was, and he said that he was unable to move his body. And I was asleep next door to him, but I didn't wake up. So said he was paralyzed, but he could only move his eyes. And he said he saw a light up where our door is, where the door is, where we come in and out of. And he said it was something came through. This being started coming through this portal. He thought it was maybe, and at the time he just was amazed. He didn't know what was going on. He said he was so scared, and he said this tall whites came through this short door. They had to like bend over to get into our house, to get through the door, to get in. And he said when they stood up, they almost hit the ceiling, which is probably 8 foot tall. And
wow.
He said there were 3 of them, and they came in one at a time, and they walked through our bedroom. And he said he still couldn't speak or move or anything. He was so frightened. And he said they came walking in. They walked through our house, actually, went up our 3 stairs into the rest of the house. And he said then it disappeared. And he said the last one looked at him to see what was going on. And he said that when he did that, he remembered that it made him fall asleep when the ET looked at him. And then he said he didn't remember it for 6 months, like he had a complete memory loss of it. And then he was listening to one of your shows, the John Edmonds show, one night, I guess he had the memory of it. And he didn't tell me about it for a couple months more because he was scared, and then he thought that it had to be a dream. And so he finally told me, and I was like, wow, that's a lot, I'd like to hear if anybody else had any experiences like that before, if they'd call in.
Yeah, wow, that is interesting too, because he's sharing this as well as listening to Third Phase of Moon in our John Edmonds interview, and now there's a relation with this, and that's why we do this, because the only reason why we do this is because we know there's millions of people out there that are experiencing this, and if they start listening, go ahead. Isn't it incredible on how this information is getting out? So is everybody safe now? This wasn't too long ago, so has there been any experiences?
It was July of 2016 that it happened. And
so 2017 is kind of slowed down on the activity, but
right. Well, I had an experience which I don't know if I remember. I called into your show a couple of years ago and told about when I had seen a reptilian at the AM/PM mini market when I was in the bathroom, and I was washing my hands and looking in the mirror to wash my face, and the door came open behind me. I was alone in the bathroom, and I could see the person coming in the door because it was right there, right straight. So I looked in the mirror, and it was a girl, or female, I would say female, probably reptilian. She was in pink. I'm saying it was she. I'm not sure, but her face looked like a turtle. And it had scales, and we both met eyes, and I was just like, what, And she, I guess I startled her too, maybe. And she rushed into the stall, and I waited for her to come out. She didn't come out, so I went outside the door and waited. And then she didn't come out for a while more, and then some people went in and out, and I thought I better go check. And when I went in there, she was gone. So I guess maybe she couldn't have gone out the window. It was too small. It was impossible. It was she must have teleported or had a tunnel or something. What else could it be?
Or maybe she just cloaked within the room, and she was always within the room, just around you.
Right.
Cloaked.
That's all a possibility. I just couldn't see her.
It's so great. I do recall that story of yours, and it is amazing that people still have these experiences once they've called into Third Phase Moon, and they could call back and share more. And that's why we're going to be broadcasting again next week, Friday. And again, don't forget, it's going to be that new time. It's daylight saving. So it's starting now at 11 p.m. if you're on the East Coast, and 8 p.m. if you're on the West Coast. Blake Cousins, keep your eyes on the skies. And if you've captured anything amazing on your cell phone, capture it in 4K. That's the first thing. And have a steady hand. Upload that video to YouTube. Copy, paste that link to my email at cousinsbrothersproductions@gmail.com. We want to see your videos. Be safe, everybody, this weekend, and we'll see you back this Friday.
At Aulani, a Disney resort and spa, the magic of Disney meets the Hawaiian culture. Magic doesn't happen on its own, though. It takes a team of cast members to bring the magic of Disney to life for their guests. Have you always wanted to be a cast member but never applied? Now is your chance. Aulani is hiring for a variety of full and part-time roles, from bell services to licensed spa roles and Japanese-speaking roles. Help spread the magic. Visit aulani.jobs/radio. That's aulani.jobs/radio to see their current openings and apply. Disney is an equal opportunity employer, drawing creativity from diversity. At Aulani, a Disney resort and spa, the magic of Disney meets the Hawaiian culture. Magic doesn't happen on its own, though. It takes a team of cast members to bring the magic of Disney to life for their guests. Have you always wanted to be a cast member but never applied? Now is your chance. Aulani is hiring for a variety of full and part-time roles, from bell services to licensed spa roles and Japanese-speaking roles. Help spread the magic. Visit aulani.jobs/radio. That's aulani.jobs/radio to see their current openings and apply. Disney is an equal opportunity employer, drawing creativity from diversity. Creativity from diversity. Creativity from diversity. Creativity from diversity. Creativity from diversity.